my channel. My name's Dee and today I want to talk to you about dry hair shampoos. I love products. If you have looked at my last video, you'll see that there's a reason why I like doing these videos, because I like hair products. So first and foremost, what is a dry hair shampoo and should women of colour really be using it? Just to give you a bit of a story of how I got introduced to dry hair shampoos. I'd been to the supermarket, as you do, going up and down the hair care aisle, and I'd found a dry shampoo. Bought it home and waited until I could speak to my hairdresser to say, you know, is this something that I should try? And she said, well, you know, give it a go, but generally speaking, dry shampoos are quite drying for afro hair. So of course I didn't listen. Sprayed this dry shampoo into my hair, and before you knew it, I was like, actually, I can wait another day before I wash my hair. And so I started using dry shampoos probably about 2 years ago, and I always use the Batiste brand, which is this one just here. Not for any particular reason, just because that was the one that I always knew. Over the years, what's happened is there are more and more products that are coming out onto the market. And this is another one that I'm going to be talking about today, is Cantu. Cantu is generally an afro hair brand, but it's nice that they've also got a dry shampoo as well. What's interesting with this though is they're calling it a dry co-wash. And personally, I don't think it's a conditioning wash because it is a spray. So I'm going to show you how you use both of them. But first I want to talk about this one in particular. A couple of years ago, Batiste, they only had maybe 1 or 2 products, and they had different smells. So there was a tropical one, and there was a tropical one which smelled of kind of like pineapple and things like that, and then there was another one which was pink, which I never tried. And then they came out with this bad boy. So it's called A Hint of Colour, and what it does is it still acts like a dry shampoo, but it also gives you a burst of colour, so that if you've got any greys like I've got right now, it can help cover those up. They also do they do a shine and nourish one as well, which if you've got quite dry hair and you need a bit of extra shine, then that's quite useful as well if you want to use those. The Hint of Colour comes in 3 different colours. So they do a brunette, they do a blonde, and then they do this divine dark, which is quite nice. So I'm going to show you how I use it. As you can see, if I bring it close up to the camera a little bit there, you can see it does dispense a little bit of colour, but don't be afraid of that, because I'm going to spray a little bit on a piece of paper just so you can see it, but actually it's not that much colour, so it's not going to stain your scalp or anything like that. So I am due to go out on Wednesday, and I want to make sure that I've got a really nice fresh hair do for that night. But at the same time, I have still got to go out and need to look decent, and at the minute it's looking a bit flat and greasy, so it's not looking good. I've parted my hair into 2 so that I can try one of the products on one side and one on the other side. I'm not kind of saying, okay, I recommend this one and not this one. Personally, I quite like both of them, so I wanted to show you some of the advantages of each of them. But to start off with then, this one, amazing. Right, so what I tend to do is, on this side of my hair, is I tend to spray it into the root, leave it for a few seconds and then let it dry. So I'm just going to do that. Doesn't have to go too close. And I'm going to do that in a couple of different places. I'm not combing any of this through just yet, but putting it in there. And if you don't want to be as organised as me, then just stick it in. Just so you know, I have got natural hair, but I've blow dried it and run straighteners through it. And as you can see, I've got different colours in the top of my hair. So I've highlighted the top of my hair. So it is, even though I'm using this spray, as you can see, it's not actually messing with any of my highlights. So the colour that it dispenses is quite subtle. And I hope you can see that, but straight away, I've got a little bit more lift than I had before. And you can comb this all the way through to the end. And actually it leaves quite a nice feeling. What I'm going to do is I'll finish spraying this side completely, and then I'll do the other side. 2 seconds. I'm back. Okay, so what I've done is I've sprayed it all the way through, and as you can see now, it's separated my hair from the scalp, and it does feel a lot lighter than it did before, which I know now actually by the time I style this, it's going to give me a lot more. So as you can see, just the difference between kind of how flat and limp that is. And all I've done is just move it through to the ends of my hair with my hand. So hopefully you can see that, but I really like how that feels. Basically it comes in a 200ml, which is this size. The 200ml is around about £2.99, but it also comes in 100ml, which is brilliant, you know, when you're going on holiday and you don't want to take one of these big things, but you've still got the little small ones. So I save my small ones for when I go on holiday. One thing I haven't seen yet though is the little miniature sizes in the hint of colour. I've only seen the miniature size in the original one. So if you're looking for a bit of colour, then I'm afraid you're going to have to stick this one in your bag. But in terms of how it feels, when you spray it on, it does actually feel like a hairspray, so it is a little bit cold to the skin. But what it doesn't do is you don't have that feeling like you've just sprayed a whole load of hairspray into your hair. It does still feel quite nice. As you can see, for me, because my hair's quite fine, it gets greasy quite quickly. But if your hair's dry and you still want to add that bit of shine to the end, I'd recommend the other one, which is really good. So if you've tried it, and especially if you've tried this one, let me know how you've got on. But I definitely recommend it. I quite like it. And I would say that this will probably be with me for a long time, especially as I get greyer. So the next one I want to talk to you about is the Cantu. Now this one, just to go through some of the things in here, it is sulfate free, silicone free, it's got no parabens, and it hasn't got any mineral oils in it. So I think that's their kind of, oh look, this is really good for you. It has tea tree oil in it, it's got shea butter in it, it's got apple cider vinegar in it. Years ago when I suffered with dandruff quite badly, my mother-in-law had said to me, actually a small cap of apple cider vinegar is quite good. So I do tend to have quite dry scalp, but then I get over that with washing my hair maybe sometimes 2 to 3 times a week. But I'm hoping that this will kind of at least make sure that my scalp doesn't get dry, but also gives me that same kind of lift. So it says it refreshes as well. So just spraying it into here, It does have kind of a pineapple-y kind of smell, which is quite nice actually. It's part dry shampoo, part conditioner. So I'm assuming that this one isn't going to dry my scalp out completely. In terms of directions on the back, it has said lightly spray evenly into the targeted areas, section by section, and then let it dry. Even though it's saying let it dry, it's not actually a water-based product. So when you're spraying it in, it's kind of dry anyway. But I'm going to give it a go. So on this side now, I'm not going to be as organised because who's got time for that? So I'm just going to lifting up each section again and spraying this in. It doesn't feel the same as the other one. Still cold, still a little bit like hairspray, but I must admit it does feel slightly wet. But I'm going to go all the way in with this, particularly on my crown, just because it gets quite greasy there. And I'm going to wait for a couple of minutes. So while my hair's a mess and doing its thing, a couple of other things about this. I know that Boots sell Cantu, but I did look for this product and couldn't find it absolutely anywhere. So if you know that there's an afro hair care shop around, then you can buy this. A good friend of mine, Teresa, she went and bought this for $5.99. She said she bought it for. I saw it online after looking at somebody else's YouTube clip and thought, oh, I'll just go and buy it from Amazon. And it cost me £10 from Amazon, which is quite expensive. You can buy it worldwide, so this is a worldwide product if you want to use it. And it is marketed, as I said, Cantu products are marketed at afro hair, but I can't see any reason why anyone with European hair shouldn't be able to use this. It doesn't have, if I spray it on my hand, it's not a greasy formula, it's quite light. So really, really good one if you are, you've got European hair, you maybe suffer with a little bit of dry scalp, so give this one a go. Right, I'm going to comb my hair out and then I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and it feels lovely actually. It doesn't feel as dry as this side does, and it's still, if I just style it a little bit better now, but it still is, it's now given me that lift, so it's kind of brought my hair back to life again. And I quite like that actually. There's no difference between the shop the one that I bought from Boots and the one that I bought from Amazon. Absolutely no difference. I quite like both of them actually. And so I think what will be interesting is how this feels after I've styled it and put extra products in and things like that. But I'd say it doesn't feel like there's loads of residue. It feels nice. I feel like I've got my hair back at least for another day. And so I don't have to embarrass the kids when I go to school. So would I recommend both of these products? Yep, I definitely would. If you're bothered about money, go for this bad boy. If you've got grey hair, this one's you on. Dry scalp, this one's you on. To be honest, I think at some point I'm going to use them interchangeably, just because when I start, my grey starts showing here again, I'm going to be using this one. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you know of any other kind of dry hair shampoos that are really good, please put them down in the comments, because I'll pop out, I'll go and buy it, and then I'll give it a try. Let me know if you end up buying any of these for the first time. Please let me know whether you like them, and hopefully I can do some more. I am going to be doing quite a few of these videos talking about hair and products and all that kind of stuff. So if you would like to see more of them, please feel free to subscribe. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, but equally, if you think it's pants and it's not very good, pants means rubbish by the way, then give me a thumbs down. But hopefully you enjoyed this, and I will see you soon.